So today I'm going to be showing you around this 2008 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. I'm going to start off with the front bumper. It's an eBay front bumper, but it's worked out pretty well for me. It is steel, not aluminum, so that's a benefit. It has the spot for the winch. I have a 9,500 pound Barricade off-road winch. Have these shackles and toe points right here. I made sure to mount the license plate. We have our pod light fog lights here that are LED, and then we have our LED light bar as well. Stock headlights, and like I mentioned, the spot for the winch, we do have synthetic rope for the winch, Badlands shackle for the winch. I forgot to mention is the aggressive front angle of this bumper. Gives us a pretty good approach angle. We are running some Prinx, P-R-I-N-X is the brand, mud terrain tires. They're only 265s, but they are big enough for what I need, and I didn't have to chop anything to get them to fit, so that's a benefit. And they've been a pretty good tire for me so far. They aren't extremely well in the snow, but for everything else, they're a pretty good all-around tire, especially in the mud. And then up here we have our Harbor Freight ditch lights. They haven't failed me yet. I've been impressed with their performance so far, and they've done what I needed them to do. Over on the other side, you see we have a short antenna so it doesn't get hung up in the trees. And that's pretty much it for the front. I'll show you under the hood. Not too much. Under the hood, there's not a whole lot going on. We have the 4-liter V6 that Toyota makes, and it's a pretty good, reliable engine. I've had no problems with it so far. And as far as extra stuff, there's not really anything extra besides the winch connection and this 30 amp waterproof breaker that goes to my auxiliary fuse block that I use to hook up lights and stuff, so I don't have to run everything to a fuse tap and everything. So that's pretty good. So there's a few relays and an auxiliary fuse block, but that's pretty much it as far as under the hood. Moving on to the side of the truck, we got these rock sliders that I just built myself, and I'll show you a close-up of those now. They have worked out pretty good so far. Haven't really had to put them to the test yet, but I'm hoping that they will serve me well in times to come, but they're pretty solid. So these are the rock sliders. They're just 1.5 inch square tubing, and they are welded to the frame. So they're pretty sturdy. I put an angle on each end, as you can see, to kind of give it more aggressive look. And then this step angles up a little bit towards the door. Forgot that door's locked. Let's go to the other side. As you can see, there is clearance about 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch between that step and the door. Okay, moving on to the rear, we have a custom bumper that's made out of 1 inch by 2 inch square rectangular tubing. I have plans to upgrade this in the future, kind of make a new one, but for now we have the swing out, the jerry can holder, tow hook, more tow points, and LED reverse lights. And I'll show you what's in the back. Back we have these pull-out drawers along with these butcher block inserts for setting your stove right here. I also use this for work, this truck for work, so I have my work tools in there right now, as you can see. And for airing up and down, I have this little 2-gallon, I think it is, 3-gallon air compressor that plugs right into the outlet in the bed. It takes a while because it's a smaller compressor, but it gets the job done, and I've been impressed with it so far, because I can run off the outlet in the bed of the truck. That's why I got the smaller one, because a bigger one would just draw too much power and would trip the breaker on the truck. So this is a sleeping platform. I sleep in here under the cap. when I do take it overlanding and camping and stuff, so it's pretty comfortable in there. Sleeping spot, and it keeps you dry from, or if it's going to rain, you know, and you don't have to deal with setting up and taking down a tent, and then if it does rain, the tent gets wet. This, you just close the hatch and put the tailgate up and you're all set to go. Keep driving. I did want to get a little bit better of a shot of these rock sliders for you. So there they are. Camera settings were a little dark on the other shot. See if I can't tilt this up to show you that they are welded right to the frame. Alright, so moving inside the truck. So inside the truck, it is a 6-speed manual. Kind of a necessity for me. We have, I'll show you these switches closer up in a second, but we have our locking rear diff, our power outlet in the bed, our Cali raised LED switches, which are a go-to for me for aftermarket switches because they fit right in, our ditch lights, our LED light bar, and our clutch start cancel button, which basically allows you to start the truck without pushing the clutch in if you're in a tricky situation. So here we are inside the truck with all our different switches here, like I was talking about. These Cali raised LED ones just fit right in like a stock switch. Toyota actually leaves those switches blank even in the higher trim levels like this TRD off-road because they know that people will want to add buttons. Just a fun little fact. Then we have for communications a Baofeng UV5R. It works great. I have it running to an antenna mounted on the roof, so I can get a little bit longer signal out of it. So I have it hard mounted. It's plugged into the cigarette lighter with this cord, and I have this mic right here hooked to a phone magnetic vent mount, so I can do that. This Toyota is 229,000 miles, so we're still going good. We do also have, sorry, that screen is really dusty, Apple CarPlay in this with an aftermarket head unit and dash kit, so that works out pretty well. I love Apple CarPlay, especially for Onyx and stuff like that. And then no switches are hooked up to it yet. I mean, no lights or anything, but I did make this switch panel with these simple toggle switches, so that way I can add at least 4 more lights. So that's pretty much it for the inside as well. Actually, also can't forget to show you the 6-speed manual. As I mentioned earlier, kind of a necessity for me. I love driving manual, and it's kind of a necessity. So this is the back seat. I keep recovery gear under this seat right here. It's kind of messy because I take it for work. I wouldn't want to sit back here unless you're small. Usually just 2 people. When there's a need, somebody in the back, but usually not. Then moving on to the rack I built. It's inch square tubing. I have these hooks on each corner, so when you want to tie stuff down. I have carried an extension ladder on this, so I've tested it out. It works out pretty well. Have these clamps right here to hold the high lift jack, which I can use on the front, rear, or the sides now since I have steel bumpers and rock sliders now, so haven't always had those, so it's good to have that. Not that I ever want to use it because those jacks are kind of sketchy, but that's the rack. Inch square tubing, like I said. I had to build it custom because there was no caps I could find, racks that I could find that would go over or under the cap, so I made these custom brackets that kind of go, let me open this. They start here and then they dip down and out, and then that's the bracket for the rack. So that's all custom. Yeah. And then there's my 207 Overland sticker, part of an Overland community I'm part of here in Maine. Tacoma Beast, where I got a wiring harness. Rough Country, which is my lift. North Country Studios, which is me, obviously. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that. Jericho Mountain State Park. I did their off-roading trail. I lost my first set of side steps and broke a mirror there. That was fun. I was doing that in highway tires. And then North Maine Woods, great place to explore, and so I try to keep everything on the truck as far as stickers as stuff I've actually done or been a part of. So that's kind of something that I like to do with the truck. And so that's pretty much it as far as the truck goes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And this has just kind of been an overview of my rig. I know it's changed a little bit since the last time I did this, so I thought I'd do another one. And pretty much the biggest update is the bumper, the front bumper. It was a necessary addition. But yeah, thanks for watching.